We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.
Hello there and a very warm welcome to Able Differently. Most successful people approach life with the attitude of hoping for the best but expecting the worst.
It's a philosophy that prepares you for any life's eventuality. And in today's program, we are going to focus on individuals who put their life's ethos in practice. I am Benson Mongai.
And me, Jairus Ongeta. Welcome.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Agnes is a mother of 2 children who are differently abled, and she has had to cope with every challenge of raising them. In spite of this uphill task, she still finds joy in being with her daughters. Take a look.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Scholar Wairimu, who is a second born in a family of 3, was born just like any other child. At the age of 9 months, Agnes discovered some abnormalities and immediately she sought for medical attention.
Kosini nimpeleka, akatibiwa, nikaambiwa kona ugonjwa wa kuanguka. Vile alikunywa dawa miaka 2, nikaona hii dawa akikunywa analala sana. Nikaona nikimwachisha hiyo dawa naona akosa sawa, nikaachana na hiyo dawa. Vile niliachana na dawa nikaona apelekwa mazoezi. Kupelekwa mazoezi nikampeleka karibu miaka 3. Nikaona amekuwa mzito sana juu, mzito hata kumbeba. Wakati hiyo nikashika mimba yao mtoto mdogo. Baba akampeleka, nikaona baba akienda tunalala njaa. Hakuna pesa. Hata tulikuwa tunampeleka huko juu. Huko tao. Nikaona akienda tunakuja tunashidana, tuko na shida ya pesa. Mimi nikaachana na yeye, nikaona tukae na yeye kwa nyumba. Tukakaa kwa nyumba hata wa leo.
Having 2 daughters who are able differently is a big challenge. She is compelled to look after them from dawn till dusk. She is, however, at peace since her husband has been there for her and the children.
Baba anaga shida. Anashikaga tu vizuri. Ni vile anaga kazi ati anaweza chukua watoto wake apeleke boarding, lakini hana uwezo. Anasuluhishaga tu matunda hivyo. Nimepitia changamoto mingi. Hata wakati wao mimi ndio nafuaga period yao. Saa hii asubuhi amefuja makara ya neighbor. Unaona, hiyo ni changamoto ingine. Chakula tunamshikilia na kaliaga hii kasuku ndio aende haja. Hiyo mambo yote nikikuwa siko anatesekaga sana.
Raising 2 children who are able differently in a neighborhood that doesn't understand is complicated. Because of this, Agnes is usually very cautious. In her previous neighborhood, things were even worse.
Huku tuko watatu. Mimi sionagi wakiwa na shida ya mtoto, lakini mtoto akikufujia karai kama ile ujui roho yako iko aje. Kwenye tulikuwa tunaishi ndio tulikuwa tumefukuzwa. Tulikuwa tunaishi na hapa goro ingine iko na hapa. Tulifukuzwa kwa sababu ya kufuja makara ya wenyewe. Tunashindwa hata kulipa nyumba. Hiyo challenge ndio nilikuwa napitia huko, lakini huku ni kufuja tu makara ya wenyewe. Ujui huyo mtu amekubebaje kama anakasirika akwambia.
Although Scholar attended school for only 3 months, her dreams are big as she hopes to attend them in future.
Daktari ndio wanapanga na pesa.
Mimi usaidizi yangu ningependa nisaidiwe kutoka. Watoto wangu wanateseka juu ya choo. Wakienda choo wanateseka. Hii nyumba ujue ni ya kukomboa sia. Unaona hata ukifua hiyo period unapitisia kwa watu. Nilikuwa naonelea kama naweza saidika, jengewa tu pahali nikae na watoto wangu. Hiyo ndio nilikuwa nataka usaidizi. Alafu nilikuwa naomba huyu mtoto wangu nitafutie ile kitu ya kustart. Naona nione kama atatembea.
Doing all she does for her daughters is her greatest drive in life, and she challenges other parents to appreciate their children and give them unconditional love.
Niliona nikae tu na watoto wangu juu, watoto hata mwisho ya wao watoto ni wangu. Hata kuna pahali naweza wapeleka, si ni wangu. Na wananifurahizanga juu, wana nini? Wanakuaga na roho mzuri. Jambo kama hiyo ikikushika unajipea moyo juu watoto ni wako. Hakuna pahali unaweza wapeleka. Unakaa nao miaka nenda miaka rudi. Mimi naambia huyo mtu ako na hiyo jambo ajipee moyo juu unapitia mengi.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Agnes Katunge is Samuel Nyamwea's daughter. She's able differently, and he has gone an extra mile to ensure that Agnes' life is all right. Take a look.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Agnes Katunge is the firstborn child to Samuel Nyamwea. She was born well, but upon observation by the doctors, it was noted that her head seemed unusually big.
Alisaliwa akaanza alisaliwa vizuri. Ukakaa kama mwaka mmoja hivi na nusu akaanza kuonyesha dalili ya kuanjeka sasa. Alisaliwa vizuri. Ukakaa kidogo ndiye alionyesha dalili ya kuanjeka spinal cord. Ndio ileta shida yote hii ya kichwa.
At the age of 1 year and a half, she started ailing. Agnes suffered a stroke on the right side, and this delayed her milestones. As such, she had to join school at a later age.
Nilimpeleka hospitali iko Triva, Sarom. Ndio hospitali yake sana. Ndio sasa tukaambiwa ako na stroke ya mkono mmoja. Hata daktari akasema kuna jingine sasa angalia pona. Sasa tukamrudisha hapa, tuko naye mpaka sasa lakini hayuko mbaya sana.
Although her brain was affected, she is able to communicate and ask for food, among other things.
Tukikaa naye kwa nyumba najua kuzungumza kidogo, tunaongea na yeye, chakula atakuitisha. Sasa anasikia njaa na kuambia anataka chakula akule. Kisika akitaka kwenda haja ndogo anakuambia niwekele kwa komodi unamwekelea. Akisa maliza anakuambia kuja unitoe. Nakuja unamtoa unamkalisha kwa kiti yake hii. Kama ni TV anakuambia nifungulie station fulani niangalie. Anaangalia.
One of the challenges for the family is buying her medicine, which are quite expensive and are to be taken regularly. Otherwise, her condition gets worse.
Anakonjekanga, natafuta pesa nampeleka hospitali. Unatibiwa na mrudisha. Sasa amepata na stroke. Kuna dawa nyingine anatumia hapo. Ananuanga 200 after 3 months, yani 1 month. Akimaliza nenda anachukua. Ukikataa kumpatia hizo dawa ataweza kunivasi. Anaanza kupiga kelele. Waa! Lakini ukimpatia hiyo dawa na bila tumekaa na yeye mimi namuelewa. Hawezi confirm. Sasa hawezi kunifanya hiyo ugonjwa wake mrudia.
Getting a firstborn child with a special need did not deter him from having more children. According to the father, the whole family adores her and gives her all the support she needs. His modest wish is that one day her daughter will be able to get a wheelchair to help her in her movements.
We are taking a short break. We'll be right back.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently. 'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Welcome back. Different stakeholders from Africa under the umbrella Africa Union of the Blind held a high-level discussion on the ratification of the African Disability Protocol. Take a look.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
On the 28th of March, the African Union of the Blind, Africa Disability Alliance, and the Christoffel Blind Mission held a high-level discussion on the ratification of the African Disability Protocol.
This is one more reflection session for us to have a way forward, what Kenya has to do, or how can we lobby or advocate for this process to take place also in Kenya. This is something we have been doing in different countries, but now, in this exact moment, we are happy to have here members of government and DPOs together, just friendly discussion and to see how we are going to lobby for ratification of this process, which is very important for people with disability in Kenya.
We cannot leave people with disabilities behind. They need to be fully present, and they need to be fully present even after the protocol has been ratified, because they need to make sure again that it is implemented, because at the end of the day, these protocols will be signed, but if they are not implemented, then the whole idea of rights of people with disabilities will not be a lived reality. It will just be on paper and in the shelves.
Despite the fact that different countries have laws that govern human rights and the UN Convention in place, there is need for a new set of rules that are specific to Africans.
I think that a key aspect as a way forward is for us as various agencies to join our hands together for purposes of synergy, to see that we upscale the advocacy efforts to ensure that we have as many countries and as fast as possible ratify the African Disability Protocol. For example, CDM is doing something about it, ADA is doing something about it, AFOB is doing something about it, and at the level of site servers, we're also doing something about it across about 20 countries in Africa. I want to believe that maybe across we may not be knowing exactly what other agencies are doing. So an action plan sort of could be necessary for the 5 or so agencies that are dealing in this very important matter.
We know that oftentimes a lot of policies are signed into law, protocols are adopted, which is all good. But the question to ask is, do people with disabilities know what policies are being signed on their behalf? Were they even told? Was their voice even heard in terms of saying, what do you think your needs are? And what can we put in this policy to make sure that your needs are addressed? And so we thought, and really sometimes it's not because of malicious intent. It's because of how things have been through the years. Because through the years, often people with disabilities have been on the margins. They have been forgotten. They have remained invisible in a society that requires people to be visible in order to be heard or attention to.
In the brief morning session, it was noted with concern that the protocol requires ratification from 15 African countries to be effective, but 1 year later, no country has ratified.
Commitment by the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection towards ratification of this treaty. But when you look at Part 3 of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act, there are many other things that need to be done except public participation to ensure the ratification of this act. Do we have a roadmap as a country towards ratification? So for example, have we started crafting the memorandum and thinking of the reasons why the country should ratify? Have we submitted this memorandum to Cabinet? Then after approval, has it been taken to the National Assembly? And thereafter, there is public participation before the National Assembly gives its okay for the country to ratify. So these are some of the questions we need to think about beyond public participation, and we need a roadmap. And I speak as the agency which is in charge of ensuring state compliance with international treaty and conventions concerning human rights, and also the monitoring agency under Article 33(2) of the CRPD. So these are things that we need to think about as a country so that we can hasten the ratification of this protocol.
However, Mr. Simwa from the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection says that Kenya has committed to ratify the protocol.
Last year, Kenya committed itself during the Global Disability Summit to ratify the African protocol. So we are on course. We want to take the protocol to the people of Kenya. We explain what it's all about. After that, we shall go to Addis Ababa, and His Excellency the President is keen into ratifying and signing this protocol.
The three organizations believe that Kenya will set the pace once it ratifies the protocol.
But we do the similar campaigns in all over the Africa. Myself, I've been in Angola, speaking about ADP, in September last year. I've been in Guinea-Bissau, I've been in South Africa. That means the campaign is going all over Africa at the same time, depending on procedures of each country, because there are countries with this. Ratification is depend on parliament, ratification depend on the president, ratification depend on ministers. We don't know exactly which country will be the next, but we wish if Kenya ratifies now, some countries in East Africa, they are going to follow the sample.
In our own portfolio, Site Savers, we have a briefing on this protocol. We've simplified the protocol in such a way that our countries where Site Savers exists across the continent do understand exactly what they need to in order to engage governments so as we have speedy ratification of this treaty. So I'm here together with the African Disability Alliance, CBM and other agencies to combine efforts to synergize so that we see as a first step in Africa, Kenya, which is a powerhouse, ratifies the African Disability Protocol.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
As the world marks Autism Awareness Month, in Kenya, James, a parent to an autistic child, is cycling from Nairobi to Kisii to create awareness on the condition. Take a look.
'Cause we're differently abled, differently.
Thank you.
Disability awareness is being done in different forms as organizations are taking it upon themselves to ensure that the message gets to the grassroots level. April is World Autism Month, and on 2nd of April, Andy Speaks and Dazzling Center for Autism in Kisii have partnered to create awareness in 15 counties and raise funds to equip the occupational therapy room at Dazzling Center.
What generally we want to do with this campaign of the cycling is to raise awareness, because as parents, one of the things from what research we have done is that they say that there is a lot of stigma. They have no information of what once they've been diagnosed, like you told your child is autistic, then where do you go from there? So what we want to do is bring the information home so that they can know, once you get diagnosed, this is what you do, these are the people that you have to work with. So we have organized for the cycle that we're going to do 15 counties, from Nairobi to Kisii. Why Kisii? Kisii is where James and I come from, so we're going back home to make the change. There is a school there that he's set up, so we want to set up a new occupational therapy center, because from here to Kisii there is no equipped occupational therapy center. We have hospitals, but we do not have the proper equipment. What we get normally is the massage for the children, which is the bare basics. So we'd like to have at least one center to cater for those counties, so that the parents do not have to travel from all the way from Kisii to Nairobi to get the services, which is something that is also expensive.
A ceremony was organized at the KICC to flag off James, the director of Dazzling Center, who will be cycling for 18 days from Nairobi to Kisii.
On this 1,000-kilometer bike ride, I assure you, I'll face all the difficulties. I'll go through mountains. You see there's drought. I'll go through a lot of hardship, but I'm prepared. The only one thing that I will request you is support this cause. It will go a long way to make the future brighter for all the kids with autism and also neurological conditions.
Nurses play a big role in the well-being of every individual, and that is why the Kenya Progressive Nurses Association is also joining hands with Andy Speaks to ensure that the awareness is done extensively.
We want to say today here, in our bid to support this cause, our nurses will be available, where parents can go out, either as a group or as an individual. Seek out, just go to the facility and say, I need to speak, I need to understand, I need to be educated. We also have opportunity with the community, especially at the rural facilities, where people do not have access, mostly even to internet, where you want to go and Google. We want to speak to communities where we can sit at a chief's baraza and tell them, we have these children with these disabilities, where most of the people in the community either hide them because of stigma. They are discriminated upon. They'll not be taken to schools. So we want to speak out there in the communities. When we're giving our health education, we want to sit in community dialogue meetings and talk about these special needs persons and their needs.
During the flag-off event at the KICC, the NCPWD was represented by the CEO, Mr. Gabo, who challenged everyone to not only wait for the limited government funds.
We know as Kenyans, we depend on the government programs a lot. And we forget that as individuals, we can move developmental agendas as individuals. And I can tell you that government programs are there, yes, but programs that have been pioneered by individuals will go into a greater level. So let's take personal responsibilities of what we do. Not just because there are rules and regulations, let's move it further.
His sentiments were echoed by Honorable Tim Wanyonyi, who was also at the event.
We can encourage each of us, as Bwana Kabo said, each one of us can play a small role. We don't have to wait for the government. Yes, the government must put for us infrastructure and the other things, the support that we need. But ourselves, we can initiate, we can do something, however small, and that can go a long way to support people living with autism and other disabilities.
Kericho Senator Aaron Cheruyot promised to work with organizations in this journey and be their voice when need arise.
Such facilities are needed across the country. For many kids that continue to face this challenge is that we shall continue to work together. The only one of the pledge that I can give you is that every time you need a voice in Parliament, at least count on me. I will always ensure that I speak for you, because James and I went to the same university and we've been friends for all that time. Therefore, I know his personal story. I know what this means for him, and by that stretch of imagination, I know what it feels for the many other parents who live with children who have this kind of challenge.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disability.
Article 6 of the UN Convention states that state parties recognize that women and girls with disabilities are subject to multiple discrimination, and in this regard shall take measures to ensure the full and equal enjoyment by them of all human rights and fundamental freedoms.
In the quote of the day, we look at the saying that goes, the most important thing in life is family and love. What do you think?
I actually agree with you. And by family does not necessarily mean the people you are related to by blood.
Sure.
Family can be your friends, family can be your neighbors, your workmates, and the people around you, and how they appreciate and show you affection. That's what matters.
Definitely, definitely. Like even in the stories we had today, they're a true reflection of the saying. So thank you so much for watching, and until next week, I have been your host, Jairus Ongeta.
And I am Benson Mungai.
Bye-bye.
Bye.